The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. Serving it sunny side up. It's News-ish with Betty Rock on The Wally Show.
Dating in the 21st century is a whole new experience. Dating apps have made meeting that special someone both easier and more complicated. And one main part of using dating apps is creating a bio about yourself that other singles can read and get to know you better. But what do you put in that bio?
Yeah, because you did a little bit of online dating for a hot second.
It was horrible.
How long did it take you to write your bio? And how many pictures of you with cats did you have to weed out?
Listen. There's a lot of judgment.
No judgment. No, I'm just kidding.
It's your tone.
Okay.
The new rule of thumb is to embrace your cringe. So if I were back in doing online dating,
all the cat photos.
Unfortunately, and rightfully so, people have a lot of cringe-worthy feelings towards cats, which is not right, but that's where we're at. So anyways, that's the new rule of thumb, is to embrace your cringe, meaning that quirky things you're passionate about, like true crime, board games, or even space, that's acceptable now.
Well, and also too, it lets people know what they're getting, and then they're not surprised, and then it also lets you find people that maybe love the things that you love.
Right.
You know?
If you're a big Harry Potter fan, then post that picture of you at Harry Potter World and with your wand and your little cape. I don't know. Whatever it is, the point is to not pretend you're cool. A lot of us try to pretend that we have it all together when we really don't. Instead, embrace the authentic things that make you, you. And be confident in it because, truth be told, everyone has their quirks as well as red flag rules. So these red flag rules are those that it's like, this is your thing. It maybe it's specific to you only, but it's the thing that if you see a dating, a possible dating profile that you're like, ooh, I like him, but then you see this in his photos, you're like, that's a red flag, not going to do it. So these are the ones that I found on this list. It was no picky eaters. So this person likes to cook, and if you won't even give it a chance, then it's a no-go for them.
Okay, well that makes sense.
So that person you would not be able to date.
No,
Wally.
not at all. Absolutely not. I think that's a good idea because, again, you're trying to figure out and weed out what you like and what you connect with. Yeah, you don't want to waste
your time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another one was no one with the same name as a close family member. I get that. If your dad's name is George, you don't want to date a guy
George.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I get that.
And then finally, man, this one hits me to my core. No gym rats or dog owners. Reason being?
What's the dog owner?
We like to sleep in.
Yeah.
And you can't sleep in when you got a dog.
That's right. And you got a cat and they may not get along, and so.
That's true too.
Yeah. And gym people know.
Ugh. They're going to make it like they're going to be all in shape and I'm going to be over there with my bag of Cheetos. That's not going to work.
Yeah, that has disaster written all over it.
And Cheeto dust.
So there you go. If you are single like Betty or maybe newly single and trying to figure out the online dating world, maybe those tips will help you out a little bit. Uplifting WayFM, this is the Wally Show, and I have a friend of mine who's got a guy for everything. You're like, hey, I need a dent fixed on my car. Oh, call Mike. He's my guy. I need an air conditioner repaired. Well, call Rudy. He's got you covered. And so it's funny because we were talking the other day, and Gavin is the guy for his wife apparently. Like she's got a guy to help her do things, not physical manly things around the house. No. What are you the guy for your wife?
I'm the guy for reading to her.
Nice.
Because she just does not care for
It's
reading.
so bougie to have a reader, a personal reader. Like most people would buy a Kindle, but why do that? Why get an audiobook when you can have Gavin read to you? Do you do voices?
I did actually. This last time. She makes me wear a suit for it. It's weird. But it is something. She doesn't like to actually like she loves audiobooks. She doesn't read fast.
I get that.
And she was going to this book club, and she's like, I need you to read this book so that I can finish it. And so I read aloud to her.
Good for you. Yeah, I hate to read. I've had my wife read me books on trips before. Because it was something she was reading and was like, oh, I think you'd like this. You should read it. I'm not going to read that.
Right.
I know. So she would read it to me.
And the thing is, too, is that you've set the bar now, Gavin, so that anytime your wife just doesn't, I don't feel like my eyes are tired.
Or
then you're going to have to read to her.
You know, my feet hurt. I don't feel like walking, and you've got to carry her.
Yep.
Like you're her carry guy now, too.
I can't do that.
I know.
I'm not.
Oh, you can't?
No, I won't. No, that's a comment on me. That's a comment on me. I'm just not strong enough.
Can you mark?
Awkward.
Can you mark that down for a promo for me?
No.
Oh yeah.
Don't tell her, please.
So I am my wife. Actually, she is for our friends. Their go-to person for wrapping their Christmas presents. Her friend hates to wrap Christmas presents, so every year she brings all of her presents for the entire family over to our house, and Marty wraps all of their Christmas presents.
That's awesome.
Because she's really good at it, and Marty just does it for free. It's a service she provides.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to talk about. What are those unusual services that you provide for a spouse or friends in your life that people might think, oh, I didn't even think about that. That's interesting. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. So what's yours for a friend or a spouse?
I am my husband's tech support.
Oh.
He is not a high-tech redneck, and I do all of his everything. If it has to do with the computer, I'm doing it.
I get that. I'm like kind of tech support for my mom with her stuff, and because computer just fights her.
And then I'm tech support for Wally.
Oh, that's true. You helped me today.
Right.
Did you know that you can actually send a link on Instagram? I didn't.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, TikTok, I know how to do it, but the gram, I don't spend much time there. Now, Jody, real quick, when you help your husband with things, do you shame him in the process?
It depends on what it is, because sometimes it's something really simple that, but I think he just doesn't want to deal with it. It's just like not his thing. So he's just like, can you do this? And I'm like, just give it to me. I got you.
Okay, well, because Betty Rock shamed me pretty hardcore.
And rightfully so.
I mean, she called me grandpa. She kind of screamed it, too. I don't know about that, actually.
Right. I agree with Betty. I mean, you kind of need it. How long you been working technology to do this radio show?
Yeah, but it's a different thing. Like, social media is the worst. Like, I don't want to learn it. I don't care to learn it.
And therein lies
And now I hear the
deal.
grandpa comment. Absolutely, I hear it now. What is your thing that you provide, that service you provide to your husband?
So I am my husband's name database. He is terrible with names. So it's people like that we see in person that he can't remember, and I'm carefully telling him a name.
My wife and I will be out in public, and she will remember people's names. I wish she would, like, work it into the conversation. Be like, oh, Randy, how are you? It's good to see you. Like, oh, that's really good. Because, like, my wife treats it more like a game. Like, we'll finish the conversation, and she'll be like, you didn't remember their name, did you? And I'm like, no, I didn't. She's like, it's Randy. I'm like, why did you help me then?
Danielle, though, you carry all the power. So if your husband needs your help, you could tell him the wrong name and really embarrass him.
My wife is so good with names, and I made the mistake of trusting her with this, and she totally embarrassed me. As there was somebody we met, I said, I think it's this guy. What do you think? She's like, oh, yeah, I think it's him, too. I'm like, ballpark it percentage-wise. I'm like, where are you at? She's like, I think it's about 60% it's him. And so I'm like, Mohammed, how are you? And he's like, I am not Mohammed. I'm like, well, you look like him. And he's like, we look nothing alike. I'm like, oh, my goodness. But she said she was 60% sure. I went with it, and it burned me.
60 isn't 100.
That's very true. I've learned my lesson. Uplifting WAY-FM. This is the Wally Show. Everybody needs a little help from time to time, and that's why we have Betty Rock do The Scoop, where she gives you the lowdown on some things that can help make your life a little better. So what you got the scoop on today, Rock?
Well, if you're like me, your doctor has told you to stay away from caffeine, but that's easier said than done.
How's that tea working out for you this morning?
I know. I'm saying this all as I'm looking at a cup of sweet tea. That is my vice for sure. But for a lot of people, it is coffee drinking. So I found this scoop on how to stay awake without using caffeine.
Okay.
Okay. So there are 3 ways that you could do this. And
Toothpicks in the eyes.
yeah, that'll do it. These 3 things, 2 of them for sure you're not going to want to hear. But, I mean, if you're desperate to get a stay away from caffeine, then this is your options. First one, drink water and eat snacks.
Okay, I like the snacks part.
Fatigue can come from dehydration, so water helps. And a snack can give you an energy boost, especially a healthier snack like an apple or some peanut butter.
Or a Kit Kat. I think Kit Kat is going to give you a bigger
Chocolate
boost.
has caffeine. We're staying away from the caffeine.
It does?
Yes.
Dadgummit.
Another one is exercise. That'll get you awake and moving.
I don't understand this. They like, oh, you get a runner's high. You're like, I think, getting high is wrong. And so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, so you should try, jogging or something to get you awake and motivated.
Nope.
And finally, if neither of those things work for you, the final option is take a power nap.
Oh, that's more up my alley.
Yeah, so basically you can avoid sleeping a lot by sleeping a little.
Okay.
So a nap between 10 and 20 minutes can recharge you.
I'm not really good at power naps. Do you power nap? Like when you go home, you nap in the afternoon?
I started power napping, and eventually it turned into just napping.
Napping, yeah. That's how it usually goes. Yeah,
it's like 2 hours now.
My mom, it's the weirdest thing. She can power nap, and she'll do it like throughout the day. Like 1 minute you're talking to her, like, hey, Mom, I think we should go to the... Mom? Oh, okay, I'll be quiet. She's out. And then she'll snap open, her eyes open up. She kind of jolts a little, and it's the freakiest thing. And then she picks up right with the conversation you were in.
Ooh.
But you're like, that was 20 minutes ago.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it really, really is. But like she's one of the hardest working, like most productive people on the planet. Like so the power naps, I think, are actually maybe working for her.
Yeah, because she doesn't eat well, right?
No, my mom eats well. I don't.
Oh, she does? Oh,
yeah.
you're
But
the
she
one.
does have a sweet tooth. I did get that from her. So thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. Well, there you go. That's your scoop for today.
It's easy to let the fear of the unknown keep us from doing something that is good for us. But going back to school might not be quite what you think.
Yeah, one of my biggest fears going back to school was I'd have to watch a ton of online lectures, and I kind of have a problem staying awake during stuff like that. But it was so different than I had imagined, and way better.
Yeah, for sure. I thought I was going to have to take a bunch of tests, which I am not a fan of. But instead, I was able to write papers, which for me was way better.
Plus, you have the flexibility to work in school around your work and life schedule. Another big fear I had is, what if I don't understand something? What do I do?
Yeah, CCU, they foster community with your classmates, and they are a great resource. And Colorado Christian University has very responsive online professors who are there to help you so you are never alone as an online student at CCU.
Learn more about how you can pursue your passion and find your calling with Colorado Christian University at ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart.
In a broken world, stories with humor, heart, or hope are a nice change of pace.
There are some things money can't buy.
It's News-ish on The Wally Show.
So there was a kid named Kai who was a junior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School when a gunman entered and sadly murdered 14 students and 3 staff members in 2018. We all remember that story. Well, seeing his peers and himself struggle to returning to normal, he wanted to do something that could help people. And so some of his classmates went on, to work advocating for gun control. Others entered politics. Some just kind of took a step back to heal. But Kai's background in technology, because he originally wanted to be a rocket scientist, led him to a completely different direction, and he built a new smartphone app. And you're like, okay, well, what is this app, and how does this help people? The result was something called Joy, is the name of it, and it uses artificial intelligence to suggest short little mindfulness activities for people to do based on how they're feeling. But what's interesting about this is it's the way they find out how the app finds out how you're feeling. It uses artificial intelligence with a algorithm to analyze your voice. So not words you're saying, but the timbre, the tone in your voice to assess where you're at.
Wow.
And then it will customize different mindful activities for you. Because how many times, when someone says, hey, how you doing? I'm fine. And you're anything but fine.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And so Some of the activities are like a 15-second exercise to encourage you to think about the lives and all the people involved in producing what you ate or used that day. Just to think differently about things.
Yeah, to think of like a gratitude, have a gratitude mindset.
Exactly. Another one is to practice making an effective apology to someone in your life, or write a letter to future you, and just different things like that. Just little quick things to, help reshape kind of where you're at mentally in that moment, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And so like many of his peers, he said he suffered from PTSD after this, which you totally understand, and that because of throwing himself into this work to do for other people, it's actually helping him as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. It's a great way to reclaim something horrific that happened.
And you have to think that his family is so proud of him.
Absolutely.
To take something that's so negative and something good come out of it, man, that's awesome.
Yep, there you go. And that's your news-ish for today.
What's on your mind today?
Like, I want to change, but I'm not open to make those changes.
Right. How does that make you feel?
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. Betty Rock has said for years, hey, Wally, you should do this thing that I do and that a lot of other people do, and it's called go to therapy. And I've resisted it for a lot of years, and I still am.
But I wish that you would do it, because you do like to talk through things.
I do like to talk through things. I like to yell things.
Yes, and unfortunately, Gavin and I end up having to be the therapist.
Yes.
But we don't get paid for that.
I know, but you got a psychology degree from Colorado Christian University, and I'm thankful for it every day. Like, you've actually helped me see some things differently.
But I've told you your issues, and you still don't like to make the changes.
Well, yeah, because I said I'm not ready to do that yet, and I don't see them as issues. You see them as issues, and I'm like, they're not issues.
Oh my gosh.
I'm fine with them.
Ugh.
Yeah, so it would probably be better to get a second opinion from a professional, but.
Oh, I'm not okay, never mind.
She has a degree. She's got the degree.
Well, that and 16 years of experience being
true.
a therapist.
That's
professional
true.
as it gets for
That
you.
is true. So here's what I want to do. This is a new segment called Shrink Wrap, okay, where we talk about things that maybe you've learned in your therapy sessions, so that I don't have to go. So you can tell me some things that like you learned that you're like, man, that was really super impactful in my life. And then I'm like, oh, that is a great thing. Thank you. I can learn from that. And who knows, maybe someone will come up with something that inspires me enough to be like, oh, yeah, maybe that is a good idea.
Well, and typically a therapy session usually lasts about an hour.
Yeah.
And so you can only get so much said or told during that hour. And who knows what that one piece of advice was that you were given that could help someone else.
Yeah, because I think that is actually, in all seriousness, that's an important thing. Because you do have people that therapy has a stigma to it, and I kind of am in that.
Kind of?
For me, it's so weird because I don't think it's bad for other people, but for me, I think it's a stigma. Like, I couldn't solve my own problems, and I see that as weakness. In me. And again, I'm not judging anybody else. You do you. But it keeps me from seeking that out. But so that's why I think that this is important. Like, in all seriousness, I think that you sharing things that you've learned that might have helped you might be the thing that helps somebody else that's more in my camp of things. And you never know where that might lead. It might lead someone to being like, wow, that actually is really beneficial and that could help me. So we're going to do Shrink Wrap now, all right? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. So if you've done therapy before, if you're in it now, you've done it before, what was that takeaway, that like thing that really helped you and you'd like to share it now? 855-33-WAY-FM. So what do you got?
Journaling was a big part of it because then I understood what of it was stemming from childhood trauma and what of it was spiritual. So like emotional eating or like self-sabotage or trust issues, like what that's rooted from.
Jasmine, you said journaling, and I found out that journaling was very therapeutic for me. And maybe you feel the same way in that I always felt like when I'm using my words, I feel like I have to be very careful with what I say. But something about writing in a journal, I let all of that just go away, and I am just very honest with myself. Have you found yourself doing that too, where it's kind of like it's a no holds bar, like you can say, write whatever you want?
Yes, because it ended up being me writing prayers. It started out with literally the first few days was, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to talk about, I don't know what to say, and it ended up being like an hour-long cry session where I'm crying out to God, and it really helped me to heal.
Well, it's funny because I was tempted to make a joke here because that's what I do. That's how I process things. But what you said about journaling and it being like this hour-long prayer, think about it. The Psalms, David, like that basically is journaling back then. When he's lamenting and crying out to God or praising God, he's journaling. So there you go. There's biblical support for the importance of journaling. Well, Jasmine, I appreciate you being on the show today and helping us out. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are looking for you to share with us something that you learned in therapy that you think might help somebody else out, or maybe for the people that are like, I'm not ready to do this yet.
Well, a nugget that was given to me not too long ago was that your perspective does not always equal the truth of the situation.
Oh, that is actually really good.
It is, isn't it, Polly?
No, well, you say that. You're looking at me, smiling, looking at me like I'm the one that needs this. I remember when you were battling your anxiety, and this was conversations that you and I had.
That's very true.
And I was the one going, that's not truth. I know it's what you believe, but it's not truth. And I was reminding you of truth every day.
Right, which I do for you every day.
It just switched.
Year-round.
Yeah.
How did this benefit you?
When you've gone through a lot of like church burn, or you've gone through a lot of broken friendships, or just different things that you aren't processing super great after years later, it really helps to actually reevaluate and learn from other people's perspectives that were part of the situation and actually take it in.
Yeah, and it could have been something completely different or misunderstood, but you perceived it this way. And that, well, they say perception is reality, and that's very true. Like the way you perceive something is, for lack of a better term, your truth in that. And sometimes when you have that conversation with someone and you find out, oh, they weren't malicious in their intent at all, where I thought they were, it can change that relationship.
Oh, yeah, and it changes the way that you think about it, and therefore it changes you. I mean, it's like a weight gets lifted off.
So what do you got today, Cindy?
What I learned was it was not up to me to fix everybody's problem.
Ooh, man.
Did that land with you, Betty Rock?
That is a word.
I know, because she tries to fix me daily.
Cindy, how did this help you in your own personal life?
Well, because I'm a fixer, I'm also a social worker, so it's what I do. So if you have a problem, if your friends have a problem, if your dog has a problem, I can fix it for you. And it was making me crazy.
Yeah, especially when you can't fix everything. That has to be one of the most frustrating things for you if you're a fixer.
Exactly. And what my therapist pointed out was by me going ahead of everyone and smoothing the path, no one was learning how to solve their own problems.
Oh, that's interesting. You're actually doing them a disservice by solving all their problems. You know what? You have helped me out today. I'm going to call my daughter and cut her off.
Whoa.
She's cut off today. Thank you, Cindy.
Uh-oh.
You're welcome.
It's today's Music Insider with Gavin.
TMI, my friends.
Okay, tell me how you guys would feel about this concert lineup as I name off bands for the concert. So, first off, Newsboys.
Okay, love the Newsboys. They put on a great show.
Great show. Skillet.
Oh, Skillet, he do. Very meatloaf.
The darkness just begun.
Yeah, very dark.
Sometimes I feel
Like a monster. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Striper.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. Like, Striper would be amazing.
Can you describe Striper for people that may not totally know? Because I don't know them as well as you do.
Striper is like, what happened was, God took
Oh, here we go.
amalgamated metal, molten lava, and mixed it up, and then turned it into spandex, and he called it Striper. This all happened on the 8th day, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Because there were 8 days back then, and he needed a full extra day to make Striper, and we are all so glad he did. Actually, the Newsboys don't fit in that lineup.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Is that what you think, too?
This is such a random, and then there's another band, it's an old rock band named Disciple. So
they fit 100%.
Everything makes sense except for the Newsboys. Maybe
Newsboys.
that's the super like worshipy crowd.
Again, I love the Newsboys, but that's a weird lineup.
No, but I think it was cool because at the concert, John Cooper, he's the lead singer for Skillet. He was, all the other bands are hanging out backstage watching Stryper perform in their yellow and black spandex.
Well, no, they've walked away from a lot of that. They're
still wearing them.
Not fully. Like Michael wasn't. Michael was wearing black.
Okay.
But the bass player, because he just needs to get noticed. He definitely was still rocking.
Yeah, he had the long hair.
Oh yeah.
That looked like your long hair that you used to have.
Yeah, and I think that's Timothy Ferry. I don't think that's Gaines, the first bass player, but I could be wrong.
Sure.
Doesn't matter. Okay, so here's a clip of audio of them all listening to Stryper play and kind of singing along with them backstage, John Cooper. It's so funny. It's funny because that's John Cooper, and his voice just has gotten so hard, Rah! But then you got in the background Michael Sweet still hitting all the high notes.
Yep.
Good on Michael, man. That's amazing.
I do love the high notes that John tries to get there, because it does remind me of the way that you sing,
hitting all the high notes. Yeah, go for the high notes. So that is a weird lineup. I'm curious. That's got to be like a one-off festival.
I think so. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I do love though the idea of the who came before you.
Sure.
Like Stryper came before Skillet. You had rock before the modern rock.
And I did like watching them all pay homage to Stryper as they were all respecting him side stage singing along. It was kind of cool.
The entire video, it's on the Skillet Instagram if you want to go look at it. It's like a 9-minute video. Like they are going at it the whole time.
That's what I like. It's a guilty pleasure. Like he likes it, and me too. So this landed with me, and as I'm sure it did with other people in my age group that loved themselves some Stryper. Feels so good. Feels so good. Uplifting Way FM. It's the Wally Show. Who's this?
Hey, Wally, it's Josh. How are you, sir?
I'm good. What's up, Josh?
Dude, I was just listening about the Disciple, Stryper, and Skillet going with Newsboys.
Yeah, as great as I think the Newsboys are themselves, it feels like an odd pairing having them in with Stryper, Skillet, and Disciple.
Dude, I went to a festival at Carowinds, years and years ago with Five Iron Frenzy and Supertones
nice.
And Insiders, and Metanoia was there, and Disciple was there, and the headline band was Audio Adrenaline, and they came out and they were like, wow, how are we supposed to follow this?
Yeah.
And it just was funny that, how you were talking about that, and I was like, oh man, I've been to literally a festival that was that way.
There are some weird concert lineups that I've been to over the years. I think the weirdest for me was I had to host a night when I was doing mainstream radio at this club in Orlando, and it was 9 Inch Nails, okay? So 9 Inch Nails, heavy band. And the opener was this young lady by the name of Jewel. And Jewel, just her and her guitar singing folksy songs, opening for a 9 Inch Nails show. Here's the crazy thing. As weird as it sounds, for whatever reason, it landed, and the 9 Inch Nails crowd loved her.
Oh, that's awesome.
But in the beginning, I wasn't sure if we were going to get her out of there alive. But it turned out okay.
There you go. That's amazing.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. Hey, you can help us out right now with a little Snap Judgment. We put up a couple songs, and we do a little snippet or a snap of them. We have our opinions, and then we play the hook and see if our opinion changes. Do we like it? Do we not like it? And then you get to weigh in on which of the two songs you like the best. And our music guy listens to this segment and likes to hear your feedback and what you think of the songs. And so you, in essence, can help decide what gets played here on Way FM, because these two songs are up for consideration. So with that said, Lady Rock, what is the first song you've pulled?
This first one is called If I Got Jesus.
Here we go. This is the snap.
Someday that trumpet's gonna sound.
Ooh, okay, a little Southern Rocky kind of thing. Yeah, I like that. I'm in on the snap. I think it's going to get even better than that, but I'm in on the snap. Gavin.
I really loved it.
Okay.
Actually,
I heard you wooing and stuff. I don't think Betty's going to be in.
I'm not.
I didn't think so. Yeah,
it was a bit much.
A bit much. Yeah, it's more feels more guy-y, I guess, maybe, in its like appeal. But let's see if things change when we play the hook. Here we go. This is If I Got Jesus, the hook.
If I got Jesus, I've got all that I could ever need. Take the world away from me, and I'll be okay. If I got Jesus.
Man, that's super country. It went from what I thought was going to be like Southern rock to like, that's super country.
Yeah.
And I love country music, but even I'm starting to get burnt on country music and like country Christian music. So I think I got to go out. I'm so sorry. Whoever that is. We don't tell you who it is because we don't want to influence you, but I'm out. Gavin? And you like country music too.
I do too, and I'm a fan of like modern country music, like modern rock country music. And
like it sounded in the pocket for something country.
I don't know if I'm with you where I expected something even more different, but it felt kind of basic in how it came in. Yeah, no, I'm out.
You're out. So Betty Rock, now you were the outlier. You were out in the beginning. Are you in on the hook?
Nope, I'm staying out.
Staying out. Okay, a total of 3 on that one. All out. Again, not a bad song, and it's right in the pocket. If you like that sound, you're golden. And the lyrics are good, but that's the thing. Music is subjective, and that's why we do this, because you never know what's going to land with people and what isn't. And so we appreciate your thoughts on this. All right, that's song number 1. We got one more song to go, and then you're going to get to help us decide which song should be played on Way FM, and we'll do that in 10 here on the Wally Show with Snap Judgment. So that brings us to song number 2, which is called what, Betty Rock?
That one's called Sunday's Coming.
Oh, here it comes.
And there is no G in that. Sunday's Coming.
Okay, now the first one was super country, and it kind of got dinged from us. So let's see. Here's the snap. Okay. Okay. That was not what I expected at all. That was not country at all. And I'm thoroughly happy about that. That was I was yelled at, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm surprisingly in on the snap again. I'm 2 for 2 today. Gavin.
All that did was make me want to hear more of that song, because there was like the gospel choir in the background. Like, I just want to know what else there is.
I don't know that we need the gospel choir. It's a little overdone by now, but I like the first part where he's like, "Dabba dabba 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 da," or like, "Yabba dabba doo." I'm in.
Sundays.
Lady Rock.
I'm in.
All right. We all want to see where this is going. So here we go. Here is the hook for Sunday's Coming. All right, well, there you go. That is the hook. Is anyone else let down? Gavin's got his head in his hands. I did the same thing.
It wasn't that first. The snap had so much promise.
Yeah.
And that felt so, like, I've heard that before.
Yeah, a lot.
What?
Yeah. Are you in?
I'm still in.
No way.
I liked it a lot. And I love the drums in it. It reminds me of, like, I don't know, like a marching band.
Yeah,
or something.
it's kind of like an old Civil War thing where they would march to that. Yeah, no, like I get that. I was just so happy that the hook the verse was so different. That's the thing. There are some songs that the verse is better than the hook. That kind of feels like that to me. Like I could listen to the verse all day long.
I disagree.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's why we do this, and so you're helping our music guy figure this out as well. So, which of these 2 songs would you like to hear more of on Way FM? Would you like to hear more of If I Got Jesus?
If I got Jesus, I've got all that I could ever need. Take the world
Or Sunday's Coming?
Keep on holding on. There's gonna be a breakthrough. Keep on holding on.
You get to make the decision now. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. Help us decide. Help our music guy out. Which one of those do you want to hear more of on Way FM with Snap Judgment? Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. Lindsay, thank you for helping us out at Snap Judgment. You have heard the hooks of the two songs up for consideration. You got If I Got Jesus and Sunday's Comin'. Which of those two songs would you like to hear more of on Way FM?
Sunday's Coming.
Okay, that was song number 2. Lady Rock, who is that by?
Yes.
That one is by Zach Williams.
Yes.
And who doesn't love themselves some Zach Williams?
I do love Zach Williams. Yeah, I do love Zach Williams. I was not in love with that song. I like the verse of the song better than I like the hook. So full disclosure, I was out on that one. But Betty Rock was in.
Yeah, and you agree with me, Lindsay, right? Like, Wally's wrong.
Absolutely. Yes.
Who was the song we didn't go with, Lady Rock?
That one is by Ben Fuller.
Oh,
yeah.
That's sad because I like Ben Fuller, but that was so country.
Yeah, it really was. It really was country. And somehow Zach Williams is able to
bridge that gap.
Yeah, between like rock, southern rock, country, I don't know.
Chest hair. He does it all. Zach Williams does it all.
You seem to really focus on that chest hair.
Well, I've been in it a lot, honestly. Because he hugs me when we see him.
And you're at chest level.
And he's a giant bear of a man and like never buttons his shirt. So yeah, I've been there. I've seen it. I've gotten a face full. So that's why I'm scarred. I'm scarred. PTSD. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much for helping us out today with a little Snap Judgment. Here you go. It's Sunday's Comin' by Zach Williams.
When your week feels like a beat down, and you can't tell the night from day, and you're tired of fighting battles when all you feel is pain. Oh, it's a heavy.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Rock Report with Betty Rock.
Despite the writers' strike bringing things to a standstill in Hollywood, Hallmark Channel fans all over the world will be happy to know the company has 40 all-new original holiday movies for this Christmas season.
You mean they've already shot them and everything?
Yeah, so you're thinking how did they do this without breaking any of the striking rules?
Right.
Well, one executive for the company
they
said...
don't hire real actors.
Well, that's true, too. One executive for the company claimed that it's Christmas all year round at Hallmark, which
yes,
is
it
true.
is.
But that also, when they saw that the strike was inevitably coming, they amped up filming to get it all done.
Really?
Which isn't going to
Yeah.
make the best of quality.
No,
but they're never looking for the best of quality.
Let me just tell you this. Every Hallmark movie, honestly, seems like it was amped up and like they did it on the spur of the moment and rushed through it anyway. There's so many holes in the scripts and the plots, and it's all the same plot. So yeah,
Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see about this first one. So the first holiday film is set to air before Halloween, October 20th.
That's early. You
Goodness.
gotta
October
at least
20th.
wait till
Yeah.
no
And
November.
this movie is called Checking It Twice.
I do like the
Okay.
title. Not gonna lie, I like the title.
So here's the description.
Okay.
Quote, a hockey player falls for a real estate agent in a career crisis
Yes.
when he's traded to her hometown and moves into the cottage in her hockey-loving family's backyard.
I get it. Checking it twice because it's a hockey term.
Yes.
And of course, he went to a small town, big city boy, gets traded.
Of course, he's living in a cottage and not a shack.
No, he's
Come
a cottage,
on.
and her family owns it. And you know what's going to happen? Like, they're not going to like each other at first because
Of
he's
course
big
not.
city, and she's still country,
Yeah.
small town,
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
already has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
But that boyfriend's mean.
Yeah, and there will be a misunderstanding somewhere
Absolutely.
where communication would have
Yep.
been key.
They're going to
but-
start to get together, and everything's going to be going well.
Yes.
And then the miscommunication happens,
Yes.
and then all looks lost. But then Christmas happens,
And the hockey player's going to put on a flannel shirt.
yeah, and then
And
all
then
of a
things are
sudden,
going to change.
It's just it's love, and that is so great. That there's only honestly one
No.
Hallmark, yes. Christmas
Yes!
movie, and it's called Christmas Magic.
bad.
Yes.
It's about a girl in a hospital bed who apparently got a second chance because she was visited by an angel.
Yes.
And the guy who loves her shows up at her hospital bed with a Casio keyboard, not plugged into anything, and plays her this magical song.
Falling, drifting,
Spinning around. Sing it if you know it.
No one to catch me as I hit the ground. Oh, gosh, my heart is aching already.
As the wind begins to blow, my heart is like the snow falling on rooftops.
Why do you close your eyes?
I close my eyes just so you have
We got to get to the hook.
Staring
Oh,
at
here we go. The floor. When you
floated through
the door. Here we go. Bring it home.
I could wait
All my life for an angel like you.
It's so bad.
No, if you mean by so bad, it's
Why did
so
we
good.
played that whole thing?
Yeah, I know.
What are we doing?
Oh, that was 53 seconds of magic, Christmas magic, Gavin. You are the Scrooge. All right, that is going to do it for your ears and for your Rock Report. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and recently Kirk Franklin, I mean, he's the guy that was part of God's Property. Back in the day, a legendary gospel artist, even did a thing with For King and Country recently. That's Tori Kelly doing the high parts. But, man, he's no stranger to family drama. There was a recording of him, I think last year or something, of him, like, yelling some difficult things at his son, who has been a contentious force in their family for years, and that was leaked, and it didn't make Kirk look good. But now there's a short documentary about Kirk called Father's Day, and it's about Kirk finding out that the man he was told was his dad was actually not his biological father all these years later. And it's him confronting his mother about it. And even though he took 2 DNA tests confirming it, she kept denying it, and it like completely affected their relationship.
My denial, is that going to put a wedge between you and I?
Yes. If you can't give me this, no hug, no word of encouragement, no sugar, no joke, nothing can substitute.
He just wants the truth.
If my mama watches this, I want her to know that I have lost so much not having you. And it would have been really, really, really nice to get that from you.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, man. Like, people carry burdens for a lot of years. They carry secrets for a lot of years. And, like, he was giving her that moment to just tell me. Like, we're good if you tell me. And she couldn't bring herself to it, you know? And it affected them. And so I think that there are a lot of people that have those secrets in their lives that shook them to the core. You found out, like, you were not expecting this. But what was that thing that shook you? Kind of like Kirk, but your faith got you through. You know, because he's like, this is bad. I know it's bad, but it's not the enemy. God is still good, and God is still who I will turn to get through this, you know, kind of thing. And so we're curious about that for you. What was that secret that shook you, but your faith got you through? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. And this isn't about, like, the scandal. It's about the struggle, you know, because your story might have a purpose for somebody else today as well. So that's why we do this kind of stuff. So 855-33-WAY-FM. What's that for you?
My son's drug addiction. It almost destroyed our family, and, you know, because our kids had never been raised like that. And when it happened, I was just like, okay, God, what do I do here? And so he kept it a secret for a long time. And then God just miraculously delivered him from it, and he's been sober, clean for 5 years, beautiful family, and I give God all the praise and the glory for it.
Wow, that's a crazy thing, man, about addiction, is that you don't just go through it yourself if you're the one addicted. Your whole family gets drugged through that mud and that mire. And I'm sure there were a lot of days where you spent hours praying for him and worrying about him, wondering if he was ever going to turn the corner and get it figured out.
If parents have never been through it, it will make you go through things that you never thought about going through in your mind, in your spirit, and in your body. And that is just a trick of the enemy, because his job is to kill, steal, and destroy. And if he can get your kids, then he thinks that he has won the parents. But you got to have faith, and you got to have a strong relationship with God in order to overcome it. And I just thank God.
Robbie, what is that secret that shocked you, but your faith helps you get through?
My wife and I were told by our daughter that she wanted to be a guy, and so she's been living as a guy since 2009 or so. We're still praying hard that she comes back to the Lord, and then in that, we know that she'll come back to us.
That is so hard. Honestly, I feel for you. There's such a lie about this now that is floating around and that people buy into, and they're just lost, and they're like, this is my truth, and nothing could be further from the truth. The only thing you can do in these situations, and like I've been in this with an extended family member, and so I've navigated a little bit of this, and the only way I knew how to do it was to love them, and I, would speak truth to them, but it was one of those things that I tried to do it in love so that they always knew I cared about them regardless of where they were at, and because you want to keep that relationship, because if you lose the relationship, you lose any influence in their life. And so while it might feel like you're not doing enough or doing anything, all you can do is pray for them and love them.
Amen. The communication in the relationship is very important to keep open and keep going as long as they will. She's cut that off now, but, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, the only truth that people need and this world needs also.
Well, especially where she's cut off that communication with you, all the more reason to pray that God's going to just stir something in her heart or put people in her life that will at least say, no, you still need to have your parents in your life, Even if you disagree, you still need them in your life, and maybe that'll be the case, and you guys can restart that relationship over again.
Amen. Thank you.
People, please.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and People Please is a segment we do when things just seem like, guys, come on, really? We're really doing this? This is what we're doing now? And there's no other explanation and no other thing to say other than people, please.
Well,
what do you got, Rock?
Get ready. So all three of us here on The Wally Show have been lied to.
Okay.
What? We have been lied to by...
Which boss lied to me?
It wasn't the
I
boss.
want names. No.
We've been lied to by someone we would never expect, and that is our optometrist.
Okay, how so?
Well, that's according to a wellness influencer.
Oh, I'm already out. Everything from here on out that this person says, I am completely out on.
Her name is Samantha Lotus. She claims our eye doctors are lying to us when they say the only way to cure our bad vision is by wearing glasses or contacts.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Like, I would love to know what a TikTok wellness influencer has to say that didn't go to doctor school.
Well, I'm glad that you asked, because here's Samantha Lotus to explain what she thinks causes bad eyesight.
There are mental, emotional, physical, and even spiritual reasons why you may not be seeing, and I'm here to tell you that can be healed.
Oh, really? That is fascinating. Tell, fourth grade Wally when he got his first pair of glasses that.
Yeah.
I had spiritual forces working against me even back then.
Well, listen, she is living proof of this. She claims to have cured her own eyesight.
Ooh, good for her.
And she can teach you how to do it, too, for only $11.
Well, that's way less than the copay for my optician.
Right?
So now you have me.
So she for $11, you can be a part of a class that she will host. And it's all online, and she will teach you how to cure your bad eyesight.
People are so desperate, man, for things. I was watching a show the other night, and they're like, and this lady was so serious about it too, she's a psychiatrist or whatever, and she's like, okay, now we're going to do a past life regression, and now when you go back, you're going to see things from your past life, and it's okay, and I'm going to bring you back, and it's like, and she legit believed it. She was so in it and so convinced of it. And the guy that she's talking to was like, okay, that's great. And he's like, I was a dwarf in another life, and I was a court jester. I'm not making this up. Literally, that's what he said. And I'm like, And you pay for this?
Are you... let me make sure I'm getting this right. Are you putting a dwarf jester
yes.
in the same class as Samantha Lotus?
I'm putting the lady that did the past life regression in the same class as that lady. Absolutely I am. She just lied to this guy, and he bought it hook, line, and sinker.
So you don't think you can cure your own bad eyesight?
No, I wake up every morning, and I have to put glasses on. I can't see.
Is that because of a lie?
No, it's not because of a lie.
Is it them spiritual forces?
Yeah, it's my lack of faith. That's what it is. It's my lack of faith that keeps me in glasses. Please. People, please.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.